Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at the new modes coming to Resident Evil 6 on the 18th of December, exclusively to Xbox 360 and coming to the PS3 at a later date. Capcom kindly invited us to have a mess around of the modes in London, and here's our verdict on Predator, Survivors and Onslaught. We'll begin with the Onslaught mode, which pits two players against each other head to head. The game is a solitary affair, as the other player's presence won't be felt in your game, aside from the influx of green enemies they send over. The idea is simple on paper, but a little tricky in practice, especially with competent players. Survive by taking out AI enemies, gather ammo and get lucky, all the while attempting to chain a combo of 30 to send a mad rush of enemies into the opponent's game. Naturally, things can get hectic, and with limited supplies make for a tight and strategic game as you balance building up combos, sending over smaller groups to keep the opponent busy and going for the big combo. Ultimately, it's gimmicky yet fun, but doesn't feel so much like a multiplayer game. Of the three modes on offer, there's less camaraderie here, but a decent game to get into as a side order for the main course. Predator mode is probably one of the more interesting offerings and a personal favourite. In some ways it's excellent, but in others a bit of a letdown. Players cannot kill the Usternak no matter how skilled you are or how hard you try. The mode is score based, where players receive points for various actions. The 2-minute rounds are fast and furious, and therefore make sense in relation to not being able to kill the Usternak, but unfortunately the design approach diminishes some of the potential teamwork that could have been offered. What I found was acting as a healer net some decent points, more than taking risk trying to go head to head with the hulking mean machine. On another occasion, as the Usternak, I downed 4 of the 5 opponents and simply guarded them to prevent the last remaining player reviving the team, resulting in a stalemate scenario. The mode seems designed for running away, getting a few hits in and making sure you survive being hounded by the player controlling the Usternak. It's a very close quarters mode where weapons spawn in for the Usternak and the team, but ammo is extremely limited, to the point of being redundant almost. This is a fun mode, especially as everyone gets to play as the Usternak, yet I can't help feel there's some wasted potential. The Usternak can perform some great bowling moves. On one occasion I was able to grab Leon and throw him at Sherry and Chris for a neat multiple takedown. Yet sadly, Usternak can't throw characters overboard on the ship level, which could have added a neat twist to that particular level. This is a cool mode to play and will possibly prove to be the most popular. I certainly liked what was offered here. Survivors mode is a deathmatch style game, with the added twist of keeping players in the game when they die by bringing them back as the game's enemy characters. Being brutally honest, I found this mode to be a little hit and miss in terms of how well the game handles combat in a versus scenario. In some ways it feels awkward, despite there being plenty of neat quirks available, such as diving, quick shot and various actions taking cover. Taking on AI is one thing, but other players is vastly different, and with various canned animations, such as when being knocked over, and context sensitive attack moves, makes the combat feel a bit random at times. The mode relies on close quarter attack moves and context finishes, but there's potential for problems in terms of keeping things balanced and fair. Players are perhaps then forced to be sneaky, as there is also potential to toss grenades at players preoccupied with attacking each other for easy multi-hit kills. Concerns aside, Survivors is a solid mode, which can be played in teams and offers some interesting new locations to mess around in, well suited to the game type. Teamwork strategy could be employed here for more meaningful results, but there's a free-flowing pace to the mode that encourages swift movement rather than camping in corners. It's certainly an improvement over the versus mode in Resident Evil 5, but is somewhat lacking the charm of the other two modes. Hopefully the community will make it shine over the longer term. So there you have it, 3 modes that each offer something vastly different to each other. Stay tuned for our full review of the extra modes in Resident Evil 6. I'm Rob Cram, thanks for watching.